Welcome to Pesto's Test Kitchen. This is Pesto. This is, do you have a name?
Yeah, Jeff Canzonetta.
No, like oregano or marinara or anything?
Papa
You're
Jr.
Papa now?
Papa Jr.
Baby Papa?
He's got a couple nicknames. We call him El Jefe, the chef.
Yeah, that makes sense. This is going to be fun for me because I don't know anything about this, so I have a million questions.
You've never canned in all your years.
I've never canned. I've never seen anybody can.
Wow.
We've never done it.
It's a wonderful world of preservation.
Yeah.
It started off because we didn't have refrigeration, and it's led into this massive thing where it's like a cult thing where people love to do it. Family generations love to do it, but it started off as a method of preservation.
It seems like a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but it pays off in the long run.
Yeah, like on January 23rd when you want tomato sauce, then you're all set, right?
Right. When it's like 9 degrees below zero and you don't want to go down to your favorite family grocery store, you can go down to your cabinet and pull out a jar of peppers or a jar of tomatoes and make sauce.
What are we going to make today?
We're going to make pickles.
Okay.
We're going to make dill pickles.
Okay.
We're going to make bread and butter pickles.
Okay.
A little bit of spice.
Okay.
We're going to make some yellow tomato sauce, some red tomato sauce, and some hot peppers because our father, Jeffrey's father, my father, was Papa Canzonetta,
right.
And it's kind of a mini tribute to him because this was his passion.
And you actually took a canning course.
Correct.
At a major university.
University of Tennessee.
And so why did you do that?
Well,
It seemed like you already knew everything.
Well, my father actually went to LSU too.
Okay.
So we both had to get our certification.
Okay.
Which was a 3-day course. And testing every hour and a half. I mean, we were there doing it.
So you were canning something, and then you had to stop and take a test.
Well,
and
not
then...
actually canning. It was more book work.
Okay.
I mean, they teach you the principles of how to, do it from point A to point B to C to D to F and get it done right.
Did you
And
feel
they taught
like...
you that so you don't hurt people.
Right.
Well,
Well, there's a lot
There's
of...
a doctor that actually, we had the Cornell University get our recipe, and they actually had a doctor make sure that all the pHs, everything was correct for us to process.
What can happen? What can go wrong when you're canning that could actually really hurt somebody?
Well, first you have to clean the product.
Okay.
That's huge.
So when you buy these from the store, then you got to clean them too?
Oh, absolutely. You're supposed to. Or else some people actually will blow air in them. You can blow air in them to get any, you don't want any residue or any particles in the jar.
Okay.
I prefer to actually run them through a dish machine cycle on just a quick rinse.
Okay.
So you get about that 140, so you kill off some bacteria.
What
Because
about the lids?
Well, the lids you have to also do a separate way, but the biggest thing we want to talk about is we don't want anybody to have botulism. And that's one of the things that can happen, in canning, botulism, horrible if you ever get that. It's a bad part of your life you're going to go through in the hospital. And like when we're talking about canning hot peppers, when we're using garlic, when Jeffrey was referring to acidifying, that brings the pH level down. So that product will be shelf stable, so we won't have anything growing inside of that. So with peppers and oil, you have to have an acidified, or when I talk about acidifying, I'm talking about any kind of vinegar or lemon juice or anything that lowers acid lowers the pH level in products, and that makes them stable.
And it's easy to make mistakes. You've made mistakes doing it, right?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, just for instance, when you put your product, let's say you put your product in your jar, this rim right here is so important, and my father always taught us the 3 wipe system, where we actually take a fresh paper towel, not one of your everyday towels in your kitchen.
Not the quicker picker upper.
You want a fresh paper towel, and you do that rim 3 times.
With
And that paper towel's been
With a
dipped
little
in
bit of
vinegar.
vinegar and water,
Yeah.
and let it dry, and then put your lid on. That really makes a clean surface, because that surface is huge when you're canning.
And if you don't have that clean surface, then it doesn't...
Well, if you
won't
have
seal.
oil on it, it won't seal, and then you'll have a bad product.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll know it's going to be bad because it's going to pop open, and it could pop open and go all over
that's huge.
your ceiling because so much gas builds up. But we have a lot of products here. You got some clean canola oil. You got vinegars of 3 different types of vinegar: red wine vinegar, white vinegar, apple cider vinegar. We have some turmeric. Canning salt, pickling salt.
Huge.
That's a huge one.
Don't just use regular salt.
If you use regular salt, it has a lot of chemicals in it. And we don't ever use iodized salt, and I haven't used it in 10, 15 years just because it's not pure.
This
is
is
pretty pure.
because of the chemicals in it, and it helps preserve the pepper also.
Yeah, if you
So,
don't have canning salt, you can also use a large flake kosher salt. That's pretty clean. Or we have some Maldon sea salt over there that gives you another layer of flavor.
That's the
a lot of big flake, and it's very clean and natural.
You want to get started on some stuff?
Well, we'll get some started, but I just want to throw a big heads up. You want to have great produce.
Okay.
Because great ingredients in usually means great products out. And we're very blessed to have Molnar Farms. Rick Molnar and Jill Molnar and the family is out there doing their hardest work. And as we all know, we had a rough start to summer this year. So they were able to get these great products in. They were a little bit late, but I'll tell you what, when you take a cucumber, a pickling cucumber, and it snaps like that, taste that. The freshness of that is just amazing. These yellow tomatoes, the red tomatoes, a lot of peppers.
All right.
Isn't that great?
I didn't realize on tomatoes you had to take the skins off the tomatoes.
Yeah, we do. And so Jeffrey's going to, do a process over there. He's going to cut out the cores, and then we're going to take and dip those into boiling water over here.
All right, go ahead.
So Jeffrey, if you want to do that.
That one's been cored already.
So what we want to do is we want to cut an X in it, and then we want to cut out the core. Okay, and then we're just going to blanch those in a little bit of boiling water, for about 30 seconds on each side, and then we're going to take them, we're going to hit them into the ice water bath, and that ice water bath is going to take over those skins off, because back in the day, grandmas used to sit there with that tomato grinder, and it used to grind all the skins off. Now we get rid of that step, so it's not as much work. We have some modern appliances we can use. You can put it into a blender to puree the tomatoes down. You can just cook them down and smash them with potato smasher, whatever you want to do to make that happen.
Same process for the pickles and the peppers, or is
well,
that
the pickles,
different?
You can slice these on the slicing attachment on your food processor.
Okay.
You can hand cut them depending on how thick you want. And then if you're doing a pickle, like a dill pickle, you can either cut it in half, cut it into quarters for a spear, or do it whole. Now, if you do them whole, you might want to salt them for a couple days before to get that so it permeates through. But we're going to cut them in half because those are just awesome in the flavor. And then, Jeffrey, talk about some of the peppers we have here, the different types of peppers.
Now, are these the peppers you have in your Papa Canzonetta peppers?
No, well, actually, I have this true Hungarian wax pepper.
Okay.
You can get this locally. A lot of farms do it. Molnar's
Some people
most
grow
definitely.
them.
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of families do it. They do their own little canning thing at their houses. And then here you have your goat horn, which is going to be a little bit hotter than this Hungarian.
And it's shaped kind of like a goat horn.
Yeah.
It's a little curly, a little curvy.
And then we have just your yellow sweet, which will give it a little bit of sweetness to overset this hotness.
Do you guys like a mixture of them?
I personally do.
Medley is good. When I'm canning at home, I like the color. So the orange is good. I also like the red.
And the red is basically a mature pepper, so everybody knows that's a mature green pepper that's gone. And you can see some of those in the green peppers down the way over there. How they call them suntans, and they turn into like a pimento is a specific type of pepper, but a lot of green peppers will end up turning red because they're mature.
Okay.
A lot of people like to take the seeds out, and we were talking about this earlier.
That's what I was going to be.
The main thing is I cut right off the tip, and then
So
if you have like a little, you can hollow that out and take out the seeds.
So after you blanch that, Mike, for about 30 seconds, 45 seconds, see how that skin just comes right off. And you want to take that skin off because tomato skin actually doesn't digest in your digestive system. So you have that beautiful tomato. And that beautiful tomato can be used for sauce, or you can turn that into a great caprese salad. Because your guests are going to see that you took that extra level of step to take off that skin for them.
Ceviche.
Yeah, or for ceviche. All right.
We'll take our break now.
Yeah.
Okay. When we come back later on in the show, we're going to show you how to do this, how to put it in the jars, and then the finished product here. Is this good luck?
Well, that's sugar over the shoulder, so I think you created a new thing.
I like to just mess up.
Are you going to do Salt Bay?
Huh? I don't even know how to do that.
You don't know how to do. We'll do that in another segment.
All right, very good. Good job, you guys.
All right.
Thanks. Be back in a little while.
All right.
Back here in Pesto's Test Kitchen with our special guest, Jeff Canzonetta, because of his certification.
Oh boy.
Big canning certification. So that's what we're talking about today, and Mark is at the ready.
Yeah.
What are you working on?
Well, we're gonna make the brine for the dill pickles. We're gonna add some white vinegar, some just distilled white vinegar, your favorite kind, some garlic cloves because I love garlic dill pickles, some canning spice, and this is gonna go right onto the stove. We're gonna bring it to a boil. We're gonna pour it over the pickles. Over here we have always one of our favorites in the family, bread and butter pickles. It's got a little sweetness, a little salt, a little spice.
We use the same pickles.
The same pickles.
Cut them differently, and we're preparing them differently.
So we have some apple cider vinegar, some black mustard seed, some regular yellow mustard seed, some turmeric for the yellow golden color, looks beautiful, a little bit of celery seed because always with pickles and bread and butter, you love that pickle seed, some granulated garlic, some sugar, a decent amount of sugar, a decent amount of salt, and we're going to put that on the stove, bring it to a boil, bring it up to about 185 degrees, and then we're going to pickle. Tomatoes, after we skin them, we have them chopped here. They're going to go on the stove right now. Okay. We're going to get those cooking, and then we're going to, once those are up to the proper temperature, we're going to puree them with an immersion blender, and we're going to put them into the jars as well.
And that's just like the beginning of
That's the
sauce,
beginning,
right?
Exactly. That's a base to your sauce.
That's the base.
But I'm going to let little brother take over and go where he's got to go.
Let's talk peppers. Remind people what kind of peppers are in here.
Okay, first off, we have our mild orange pepper.
Yeah.
And then we have our goat pepper, and then we have our Hungarian hot.
Okay.
So the first thing we want to do is also get some of this Morton canning salt. So we're going to be generous with it. We're going to salt it.
And if you missed it before, canning salt, use that instead of iodized salt.
Absolutely. And then we have our garlic. I love garlic, so
Are we doing all that?
Huh?
Are we putting all that?
Oh, we're putting all. No, I don't know. What do you think? We should put.
I think go for it, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's a lot of garlic.
You know,
I don't know.
your
What do you
wife
think?
likes garlic, you
all
like
right, we're gonna
garlic,
throw it all
mine,
in.
you
All
know,
right,
it's in,
we got
it's
garlic in there. Now we have this wonderful oregano. So we're gonna throw some oregano in there, and what the heck?
There you go.
And then we have some of our oil that we use here. Then we're going to throw our oil in here, real nice.
Now this is kind of the recipe. You're
Well,
just
I mean,
eyeing it.
people have it
You know
down
what you
to
like.
measurements.
That's the basis for
I
Papa's
mean,
recipe.
I could get technical on it, but I'd have to kill
I
you.
think it's all in what you like.
All right,
Some
and
people
then
like
we have
more garlic,
our
less
Regina,
garlic,
Okay.
saltier, not as salty, vinegary.
and then of course the red wine vinegar is what we use to acidify the product. We want to get that acid in there.
Okay.
So we have this right now. So what we're going to do is get our hands in here, and we're going to mix it up real
You're
good.
going to make those happy, little brother.
How much are they? How big of a thing are we talking about here? How many pounds of peppers?
Oh, this is probably about 20 pounds of peppers, give or take.
Okay.
After you clean them. Now we leave our seeds in. Some people don't. Some people like to take them out. I believe
Jeffrey,
I believe they have flavor. So
I think what you got to talk about is what you guys have on your hands. Nobody knows why you're wearing gloves.
well, I'm wearing gloves too. If you decide to go with camo, and I wouldn't recommend it, because you're going to have hot hands for a couple of days. So
My eye
these
has itched for about
I'm
20
just
minutes.
saying, you want to be very careful.
Don't itch it.
Want to be
And
very
Mike, you have to
careful.
go to the bathroom, wash up first.
Gotcha.
So what we're going to do now, we're just going to give it a little simple taste. See where we're at.
Yeah. Feel good about that?
I think we're just going to add a little bit more salt.
Okay. And that's what you got to do while you're doing it, right?
Yeah, you always got to taste your product. Add that little bit of salt, and I think we're there.
All right.
We're going to let these sit.
That's Dad's classic tub. That's about 30 years old. Dump it in there. We're going to get it on the stove.
So we let this sit, then we take it to the stove, right?
Yeah, we're going to get it to the stove because, there's a couple different ways of hot canning. There's hot packing and cold packing. I think in the next segment we'll get into the difference in those two.
Okay.
There we go.
Take this
All
over.
right, Mike, nice
Wow.
with the big pan.
There you go. How long does that sit on there?
That's going to sit on there. We're going to bring it up to at least 185 degrees to can.
Okay.
Bring it up to a boil is the simplest way. It depends on how crisp or soft you like your peppers. If you like them a little bit crisper, just 185, take them off, immediately can them. If you like them a little softer, go all the way up to boil.
Okay.
All right.
Let's take our break.
We're going to take our break. We're going to come back and we're going to can.
That sounds
All
good.
right.
Be right back.
Thank you.
All right, we are back. Jeff is ready with his peppers and oil, and you're ready with your pickles.
Yes.
And there's the tomato sauce, and we're ready to go. So why don't you go ahead and get us started here?
Absolutely. We're going to fill our jar. That's
And we
been
cook
cleaned.
this to what?
Actually, we brought this up to, you have your trusty thermometer here. We put that in there. We want to bring it up to 185.
Okay.
All right. I just cooked that recently, so it is holding temperature at 185.
Why 185?
We want to kill all bacteria, plus that's the temperature our recipe asks for.
Okay.
You want to kill all bacteria.
right.
So what we're going to do is fill. If I get this thing right. You want it close to the container. We're just filling real hot, real nice.
So you do the peppers first, the juice
I do the juice second.
second. Okay.
You know why?
No, I don't.
Because I like to get a feel. I like peppers in the jar. I don't want to have all that liquid. We want peppers, and that's what people want.
All right. You work on that.
Yeah.
What are you doing over here? Now, this is interesting to me because on the dill, you just pour the sauce in.
Right. And the pickles, they're gonna because
bread and butter, you cook the
because
pickles.
I cook
So
the
we're gonna
pickles
go
because
ahead
I
and
want
pull
those
the other
pickles
one.
to taste all that turmeric and mustard seed and celery seed and granulated garlic, sugar. Plus, you want these ones a little bit softer. Now, if you want them crunchy, you can do them the other way, and that's fine. So we're just gonna put them in here, and then I'm gonna take the lid. Put it on top. Now these have been brought up to a quick boil, so they're nice and sanitary.
See how that hot's coming up there?
You just get a
real
soft,
nice and hot.
soft seal on that, Mike. You don't want it real hard, and we're going to stick it upside down because we want that seal to create that vacuum on that seal.
And that's what does it?
In about 5 minutes, we're going to come back, and then we're going to turn it over, and it's going to pop.
Because of the heat? Is that what seals it?
The heat seals it, absolutely.
Oh.
Then we have that beautiful pureed yellow tomatoes. How gorgeous is that? You know, my father and I always had a little battle. Like, my dad's a traditionalist, and he did not like my yellow tomato sauce one bit whatsoever.
So we're tapping them down inside here also. We want to get a nice little tap in there.
Oh, there you go.
So what we're going to do is add some liquid to it.
That fills up the
That
rest.
fills up the rest.
All right, 2 quick questions.
Yeah.
Can I use the jars I used last year?
Well, yes, you can. I recommend that you wash them at least once, twice, 3 times. You want to get all the grease off of them.
Okay.
I don't recommend some people want to
Don't
use their
reuse
lids.
Don't do the lids?
Don't do the lids. I
if
mean, you
it-
can
if
do
it-
the sealing lids,
Okay.
but the lids that actually touch the product,
Okay.
I wouldn't reuse.
I wouldn't recommend it either.
I mean, some old timers, they do that to saving some money, but when you're talking about they cost a couple bucks for safety and you want your family to be okay.
We talked about how I shouldn't eat a whole jar of peppers at once. I think that's a good tip. But when
Absolutely.
I do open it up and I pop it in the fridge, how long is it good?
I'd say
gosh.
6-8 months.
6-8 months.
Seriously.
Yeah, you're good for 6-8 months.
So this
Mike.
is important also, like Mark was saying, a little vinegar bath. And what we want to do is just wipe this lid, wipe this rim, and that makes sure that there's no oil on that rim right there.
Now this is the test, though.
Because
this is the litmus test.
this is really that's important. And then we have a one cap lid. He has a 2 cap lid. This is a little simpler, less time. So you want to put that on there and just tight. You don't have to go crazy and get it super tight. Just tight.
Then you flip those too?
And then we're going to go ahead and invert.
Wow.
And we're going to go like that. We're going to go like that.
That's awesome.
And then we're going to go ahead and let those rest.
It does look good. But I think
then-
we have to have a little litmus test
Have
here,
some bread
bro.
with it.
Oh, I love the bread.
I mean,
You love the
I know
bread.
you don't like it. I know you just do it for TV, but we appreciate it. Hey, good job, you guys. Hey, get their peppers. Get Papa Canzonetta's peppers.
Oh, absolutely.
Bistro 1907.
Awesome stuff, man.
Good job.